Let's now practice what we've learned so far by creating a tic-tac-toe game. We begin by going to IDE1.com/capital R2 capital Q capital SY, and you can just grab the following code. I'm going to just click on copy to clipboard. So hopefully that copied it. I'm going to go to Flash. I just googled the tic-tac-toe board and I stumbled upon this this image here, and of course you can go to the toolbar and press the third tool, which is the transform tool, and just stretch it out. And if you don't want to squish it, just press Ctrl Z. When you move the cursor to the top right corner, you can just stretch it out a little bit. And this is good enough, doesn't have to be perfect. You can just press Ctrl minus to zoom out and just get a sense of how big this will be. When you actually press Ctrl Enter, this is my nice tic-tac-toe screen here. Okay, so let me go to the timeline here, and this here will be frame 1. I'm going to click on frame 1, and what I'll do is press F9, or which is window actions, and I'll paste all that code that we find off the internet. So I'll explain that shortly. So let's press F9 again to minimize that, and what I'm going to do here is I am going to draw some tic-tac-toe movie objects, movie symbols. I'm going to double click this layer 1. I'm going to call it board. I'm going to create a new layer by clicking here, and I'm going to call this I'll call it actual XO. It's either the XO that goes here. So let me create a nice movie symbol here. Let me just lock this layer so I don't mess it up. I'm going to click on the XO layer, and I'm going to draw with my amazing artistic skills using the brush tool. And notice how I'm going to change the color to black. The black fill tool with no stroke color. I'm going to just make this into a movie. So how should I do this? I will make this an X. There's my X, and what I'll do here is I will highlight this, and right now we're on the actual XO layer, and notice how the other layer is locked so we don't accidentally select too much. Highlight it completely, right click, convert to symbol. I'm going to make this into a movie symbol, and I'm just going to call this turn. This is a turn movie, and I'll just click on OK, and so what I'll do is I'm going to actually double click into the movie, pow pow, and my turn movie is going to have 3 keyframes. So I'm going to right click, insert keyframe, and then right click, insert keyframe. So my first keyframe, I will make it into a question mark, so I will just use the eraser here, and I'm sure there's more efficient ways of doing this, by the way, and but for now I cleared out the first keyframe, and I'll just for simplicity's sake, just to see what's going on here, I can use the paintbrush tool, and I'll make this question mark. So the second keyframe is an X, and the third keyframe is we're going to make it into an O. I'm just going to press the delete key. Using the black paintbrush tool, we're going to make this an O. There's my beautiful O. I'm going to go back to scene 1, and you can see that when I press Ctrl Enter, this movie will constantly just play. It just loops in a very, very quick way. So I wanted to tell it to stop. So I'm going to go to the timeline here, and when I actually use the selection tool, I'm going to double click into the movie, pow pow, and on frame 1, I'm going to press F9, and I'm going to say stop, bracket bracket, semicolon, Control Enter, and it's still not stopping, I guess, here because we're getting confused. There's some error messages here, so I'm just going to say it doesn't know what movie 1, movie 2, movie 3, all these things are. So let's go ahead and name these. So let me go to the scene, and I'm going to press F9 to hide that, and I will try to name these this movie here. I'll call this instance name movie 1, and for simplicity's sake, I'm only going to make this a 2-square tic-tac-toe game. Okay, so this is movie 1. Let me go back to the timeline. Let me change this board here, temporarily unlock it, and I will click on this board, delete it, and I'm going to simplify this a little bit using the paintbrush tool and holding down the shift button. Oops. I'm going to draw a very simplified tic-tac-toe game. There you go. It's my beautiful drawing. Let me just fix that up with the eraser tool there. Okay, so I have this board. I'm going to lock it again, and here's my XO layer. If you understand the concept of making this 2x2 tic-tac-toe game, you should be able to apply your knowledge to create a 3x3. So this is movie 1. As you can see, it's called movie 1. That's the instance name. I'm going to copy this, Control C, and then I'm going to go press Control V. I'm pasting it. I'm going to have this called movie 2. I'm going to paste it again and call this movie 3, and I'm going to paste it again. It's going to be called movie 4. So I have total 4 movies. And now let's try control entering, and let's see if I say X and X, it says X wins. Very good. So I'm going to kind of try to reset this so you can see as I toggle, if I keep clicking here, it toggles between X and O. It says X wins. It says O wins this way. Let's try to do something else. Let's click on this one here. It says X wins, and that's working vertically. It says O wins. O is winning diagonally. And then here it's going to say X wins. So these squares are just toggling, and it's checking across as well as vertically, and it's checking diagonally. So it looks like the code is now working. So what I did here is I have this movie 1, this named movie 2, this named movie 3, movie 4. So that's the way I named it, 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's get into the code and understand what's going on here. So just as a reminder, if you double click into the movie, we have 3 keyframes. The first keyframe is question mark, the second is X, and the third is O. And on keyframe 1, if I press F9, we have a stop code. Go back to scene 1. And now let's go into the actual code. Here's the frame 1, and let's try to understand this this code here so you can make tic-tac-toe games. So what we have here is, let me just leave that tic-tac-toe screen in so we can see what we're working on. Okay, there we go. So what we have here is all 4 movies are listening for a mouse click. In the event that there is a mouse click, it's going to call the function movie 1 pressed, and all these other functions are kind of similar. So if you understand one of them, you should be able to follow along. Notice how we have variables. Each of these variables represent the position. So the movie 1's position is currently frame 1, which is question mark. It's not sure what it's going to be, either an X or an O. And so movie 2, movie 3, movie 4, they each have the position of the movie, of what it's currently at. Okay, we have this function called check-win, which checks to see if somebody won. So let's keep in mind that there is a function there. And let's try to understand one of these movie 1 pressed functions. The rest of these are very similar. So if you understand one of these, you should be able to kind of figure out the rest. And I just kind of copied it just for the sake of time. There are more efficient ways to do this, but let's just try to understand what's going on here. So just copy the template here. In the case that movie 1 is pressed, just copy that for now. There's a big if statement here. There's one if statement. So if the current position is movie is equals to 1, and notice how there's a double equal sign, it represents comparison. We're not actually setting to 1. We're asking the question, is it equals to 1? Then we're just simply going to advance the position to 2. So if it's originally question mark, we're going to make it now an X. And then of course we have to check it to see if they won. And then it's going to say movie 1 go to and stop 2. So the movie 1, remember, it actually had some 3 sub animations within it, and the go to and stop 2 represents the X position. And on the other hand, if we're already at X, we're going to go to position 3, and of course we need to check if we won, and then we're going to change it to an O. That's the next position. And then if we're already at an O, we're going to go back to X. That's the idea. So it toggles between XO, 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 XO. So go to and stop is very nice. It actually goes to that sub movie animation frame, and it stops even though there's no stop code there. So that's the way this code is working. So how is check-win working? I'm going to go back up to here and see how this works. See, functions are nice because you can reuse code. In many cases you have to check to see if they won, and This code might be confusing to beginners, but really, if you understand how Boolean logic works, this is a beautiful example, and perhaps a good challenge problem. So there's this big one massive if statement. If certain condition, then X wins. Otherwise, if there's another certain condition, then O wins. If you understand one of these, the other one's kind of the same. So let's try to understand this one big massive if condition. Keep in mind that the if statement has a beginning bracket and a close bracket, and everything else can even have another bracket within here. So here we have another mini bracket, and this is one condition. Here we're checking to see if movie 1 position is equals to 2 and movie 2 position is equals to 2. So basically that's asking here, the movie 1 position, is this equals to X and is this equals to X? The double ampersand symbol represents logical AND. So this and this, they're both X's, then you'll win because X wins. See, this is where X wins. However, there's other ways that X can win. Hence we have the OR operator, pipe or shift backslash. This gives you the pipe or, and notice how I actually press enter here. It doesn't matter. You're allowed to press enter to the next line. It's the same thing. Or you can have this big if statement on one line as well, but this is visually more pleasing. So here, or there's another way to win. You can win by having movie 3 here is equals to X and this also equals to X. Or there's another way of winning. Movie 1 position equals 2 and movie 3 position equals 2. So that's saying this and this, they're X's. And the next case would be this and this. And in this case is movie 1 and 4 is X. So here, movie 1 and 4, these are X's. Or these are X's. Okay, so this is the solution for creating the winning condition to see if X wins. So hopefully you can meditate on this code, practice, and congratulations, you now have some basic tools to make a full tic-tac-toe game. Good luck. Please subscribe, comment, like, say something. There's no comments so far. It's very tiring making these videos, but you give me energy when you say thank you. Alright.